And we are good to go. All right, perfect. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome. How's everybody doing? Fun. All right, looking good. Just going to give this a second to let a few people tune in. So welcome everyone on TikTok. If you could give me a thumbs up, let me know that you can hear me and see me all right. Welcome everyone on Instagram. Same thing, if you could let me know how my audio and video is working. And welcome everyone here on YouTube, as always, at Ask Ivy the Medium. I appreciate you guys so much, and the absolute best way to support me is through YouTube at Ask Ivy the Medium. So if you guys are on one of the other channels and you're interested in switching over, I can always count on my YouTube channel to function, to pay me. And while things with the new changes have been problematic for everyone, every creator on YouTube, it's still a lot better than my TikTok. Hi, Brenda. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. You guys are going to drop your $10 donation and ask about a dream that you're having. Thank you for the hearts on TikTok. So this is a test show. This is my dream analysis show, my absolute favorite topic in the world. And if you guys give this great engagement, whether you're tuning in here tonight or you're watching the replay, or if you're tuning in later and this has already been published, I so appreciate it. Give it a heart, drop a comment of any kind, share this video. And yeah, if it gets really high engagement, I would love to add it to my 2026 show lineup. If I am looking a little green, a little rough, bear with me. I got sick and I had to cancel Friday's show, which was the pet readings show. So thank you so much. And I do apologize for that. If you guys were planning on tuning in for that, I am rescheduling it, and I'm still a little recovery mode here tonight, but I'm starting to feel better. Okay, so just bear with me. I do want to say thank you. Quick shout out to my YouTube members: Crystal Henhoff, Yolanda Fisher, Chaley, Lumen Grove, Anna, Angie Johnson, Jennifer Cole, Jennifer Barone, Abby Hicks, Stella Marie, Kim Elizabeth, Denise Bennett, Jayla Beans, Edgar Velardes, Melissa S., Christine Watts, Miami Heat 305-ish, CJG, Shauna Dempsey, Demetris, Language Through Connection, Deanna Marie, Murray D, Tristan Marion, Me Love 716, Andrea M, and Vanessa. I appreciate so much your continued support. Now, my YouTube members have their monthly exclusive Ask Ivy show tomorrow. So if you become a member today, if you're interested, go over to my YouTube channel at Ask Ivy the Medium, hit the join button. You'll see the 3 different tiers of membership options. So the top 2 tier members get in every month for an Ask Ivy exclusive show where you get my undivided attention. It's a ton of fun, and it's always like on the last day of the month. So you still have time to get in on that. Membership also includes things like a monthly horoscope, a direct email reading, which literally pays for the entire subscription itself. Thank you so much for the hearts on TikTok. You get a monthly mini class, which is something I used to do all the time during COVID, right? And then you're getting like a weekly spirit message, a whole bunch of great stuff. So check out the membership options. So you guys, as you drop your dream analysis questions here tonight, please try to keep it at 25 words or less. I know sometimes dreams get complicated, so it may exceed that, but try, okay? Like practice before you type it all out. Make sure it's all gonna fit. Yeah, and just include detail. What I'm looking for in a dream analysis reading is like the symbology. So if you could tell me about the atmosphere that you were in, any big symbols that stuck out to you, and of course, who you were with and what you were doing. Okay, these are all really important aspects of dream analysis. Also, if you guys want to get on the early bird waitlist for my symbology book, It's going to include the 4 hours of training I offer to my psychic mediumship students, a ton of dream analysis, archetypes, colors, animal totems, numerology. It's all going to be in there. So if you want to get on the early bird wait list, you can drop me an email at reviverivera@yahoo and just say add me in the title. I'll know what it is and I'll get you on there. A couple quick announcements. Also, the Hauntings, Clearings, and Detachments class is tomorrow. So I'm always referring to this, okay? This is the class where I'm talking about how paranormal activity is activated, what may be following you. Maybe you're haunted. Maybe it's not your house that's haunted. Maybe it's you. Maybe it is your house, or maybe it's a land issue. So we're covering everything from chaos magic to exorcisms tomorrow. I'm going to educate you in the basics of all of it and teach you how to protect yourself. Registration is now open. We're running the class at 7 p.m. Eastern. It's 2 hours. And if you're unable to attend, you just get the video download, okay, which has always been available, but this will be a fresh new recording. Book your spring and summer party now. So I am in entertainment, so I do gallery shows. Typically what people want is like 1 hour of gallery with private reads offered afterward. So parties are starting to book up real quick for the spring and summer months. We're booking out into fall already, like even late fall. So this year's really going to be quite packed. So I am entering into my in-season here next month, and it's going to be pretty crazy. So get that booked. If you need an entire psychic fair, I can put together an Ivy League psychic fair for you with certified readers from my Ivy League Psychic Academy as well. So check it out. And you guys can book a reading, a party, a fair. Just go onto my website, Ivy Rivera, psychicmedium.com. I do work internationally to book whatever it is that you need. We will also be out at Margin Manor Winery for our first Ivy League Psychic Fair of this season. This is going to be April 26th from 1 to 4 p.m. I think I just booked up the rest of my spots. So I don't actually know if my pre-booking has anything left, but you can check. There are a few other readers from the Ivy League Psychic Academy. I do know still have some spots, and walk-ins are welcome. All right. So again, you can go onto the website if you want to go out to Appleton, the hauntingly beautiful Margin Manor Winery. She's been on quite a few TV shows with her property. Just seeing the property is worth it. Okay. But I know she's doing like wine tastings and things like this, and she has a lot of local artists vending there in addition to me and my readers being out there. The Reiki 1, 2, and Master's certification is now refreshed. So the one that was up on the website was several years old. We just redid class here a couple weeks ago. Hey to all my Reiki students who just got certified, congratulations. And so the new video is ready to go, okay, as well as spiritual life coaching. If you are interested in getting certified as a spiritual life coach, you may want to check that out on the website as well. We are going to get right into this today. I'm going to show you lipstick on my teeth. You guys could let me know where you're tuning in from. I would love to hear from you. And if you have any other questions about dreams, it doesn't have to be like a full dream analysis thing, you know. If you just have questions, drop your $10 donation and then go ahead and ask about like how dreams work. Now, we do have a dreams class coming up. It's already up on the website, so you can get the old version of it. But we have a dreams class coming up as it'll be open for the public as well, but it's part of the psychic mediumship course. And I want to say maybe that's in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I'll have to check, but you guys could also check that out if you're really into the difference between like lucid dreaming, astral travel, visit dreams, subconscious dreaming, you know, how to control it. What does it mean? How do you really analyze them properly? And more of the sort of curriculum, okay, on all of this. Welcome, everyone. I'm Ivy Rivera. I'm a psychic medium, a Taino Airwalk, and this is my test show, the Dream Analysis Show. If you guys give this high engagement, I will happily add this to my 2026 show lineup. This is my favorite topic in the world. Now, what you guys are going to do is drop a $10 donation and your dream. Try to keep it at 25 words or less if possible. Include important things like what you were doing, where you were, the main symbology that stands out to you. And typically in dreams, who you were with can be pretty important. So if it feels like it was important to you, include that as well. And I will break it down. I will tell you what it means. Our dreams are so important. They are a roadmap for our lives. And we should be keeping, at the very least, a notepad and a pen right next to your writing hand in the bed with you at all times. When you wake up in the middle of the night and you're like, whoa, that was a powerful dream, you're going to think, I'll remember this. I won't forget this. In the morning when I wake up, I'm going to look up the symbology. I'm going to figure out what it was telling me. But you roll over, you get a drink of water, you go to the bathroom, and it's gone. And it can be very hard to reconnect with. Okay, so what we want to do is be still. When you wake up from a dream, you want to jot down the main symbols. And then in the morning, you want to get together with your guides, with your morning cup of coffee or tea, and sit for like 10 to 20 minutes and ask, what do these symbols mean? Okay. Google the meaning. There's a good dream book I have my students get. It's pretty old though. It was my great grandmother's. Came out in, I think, the 50s. It's called The Dreamer's Dictionary, and it's written by Lady Stern Robinson and Tom Corbet. Okay, I have a book that will be coming out that's going to be far, far more advanced than that old dusty book, but it's still pretty good. Okay, so at the very least, you could pay like 1 penny. I think you could probably get this book for free different places. Whose grandma had this book, The Dreamer's Dictionary? Remember, it had floating eyes on it. It was reissued in, I think, 95. And if you use that in combination with A to Z Dream Dictionary, or A to Z, I think it's called Dream Moods through Google, you should be able to find answers. If when you go in and ask your guides and you ask the symbols what they mean, if you're not getting a clear answer on it, you should be able to access those resources and get a little deeper. But I don't always agree with everything that's in there. So anyways, we're going to do it my own way tonight. Let's have some fun. All right, Edgar is up first. So Edgar says, I recently dreamt that I was hanging out at my elementary school and I saw my teacher and friends from 6th grade. What does that dream mean? Okay, so whenever we are talking about a school, we're automatically talking about where you are in your development, where you need more development, and a period of time in your life when you are revisiting, meaning currently, okay, you are revisiting some basic lessons on life. This can also signify a period of time in your life where you were sort of stunted out, arrested development. Maybe there was some, oh, Ezzy agrees. Come on up, Ezzy. Esmeralda Marie Rivera, everybody. Say hi, Ezzy. Yes, we love you. So it can also suggest that something happened during that time that wasn't so pleasant. It may have really affected, especially at that age. That's pretty young, right? 6th grade. So this could have even affected your character development. I think, what are we talking at that age? 11? Yeah, you should have been about 11, right? Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I think 6th grade is about 11 years old. So you want to look back at that time in your life as well. You're going to want to look at what you guys were doing. So the information you gave me is just about like the students that were there, the teacher that was there, the building, okay, that you were in. But other important factors are the activities that were happening, any words that you can remember, and how you felt is really, really important. In revisiting that space with those people, did you feel, good Lord, Ezzy, she should clean her teeth or something on there. I love you. Did you feel good about it? Did you feel as though you maybe reached a higher level, with your social skills at that time? Did you feel that it was a positive experience? That means a lot when we're talking about a dream where you're revisiting school in any capacity. Because usually when we have dreams about school, we feel as though we are disempowered, we're forgetful, we're failing. We often feel threatened by the schedule and the locker combination, and the bell's going off and I have to run to my next class, or I forgot my book, or I'm failing this test, or I don't have what I'm supposed to, or I'm being judged. A lot of school dreams can take on that tone. But if this felt good to you, you really want to examine how around that time in your life you may have gone through some things that stunted you out or caused for you to have lower self-esteem, or if you feel like you just didn't fully develop in some way around that age, then you would be seeing through this dream how you are. You're kind of coming up. It's your come up. It's your level up. Okay. And that's really something to celebrate. I think that when we talk about elementary school, you also want to look at the basics of what most kids are doing at that age. So we're talking like, 10, 11, 12, really, right? What are most kids learning at that age? And you want to apply it to where you are in your life right now. And that can seem silly. Like, well, that's a million years behind me. I'm old. I'm in my 30s, right? You're not that old. You're not old until, you know what I mean? You've kicked it. Like you are learning even into your 90s. I see a lot of people talking about on their deathbeds. There's been a fair amount of research done on this. People who are on their deathbeds, they're in their 90s, they're in their 100s, they're in their 80s, whatever. They talk about elementary school frequently. They talk about middle school often. It's phenomenal how sharp their memory is, okay, on like things that you would assume they could not possibly recall. Maybe they don't know what they ate or they don't know their own name, but they remember that kid they sat next to in middle school in that one class. They talk about these things because they are still influencing them. They are still learning from it. They're still processing it. So you are not at all too old. You are definitely at a stage in your life where you are revisiting elementary lessons and integrating them, right? Applying them. It's pretty wild, pretty wild. And because all the students were there, I just want to add this and then I'll go on to someone else's question. But because it wasn't just like you and the teacher or you in the building, because of the social aspect there, it can mean that your social skills literally are leveling up at this time. Yeah. From the basics of what would have been taught at about that age. I always say that's an age. Would that not technically be middle school? I think it depends on where you live. But anyways, I always say that at that age where they're right in that almost like middle school range, right before they go into high school, but you're not really elementary anymore. Like you're not a little kid anymore. You're a tween. I always say that right at that age, that's when people's true character comes out. That's when the personality is really almost like finished developing. That's when friends that maybe were really great and really cool and they were solid people, they can go dark, or the opposite can happen and they can start to mature significantly, So those are real pivotal years right there in that spot. Very fascinating. All right, we're going to move on to another one. Thank you so much, Edgar. These are fun. All right, Tanya Rivera. Hi, Ivy. I had a dream that my husband and I were sitting on a bed. Okay. Hey, Tanya. Okay, husband, bed. Outside of a resort. Okay. It started pouring rain and flooding. Okay, the flood. There was a cement well that filled up with water and dead bodies started coming up. Okay, so a well with dead bodies. Is that the end of that? Did she say anything else? I think this pen is done. I hope these are going to work, or I'm going to have to go hunt for something. Okay, I think that's the end of that one. Okay. So let's look at a couple different things. I hope your husband's not listening to this, but I'm gonna, okay, be honest about what it is. When you look at your husband, you feel as though he's asleep. Maybe not in all ways, but you definitely are concerned. sometimes that he is not awake in life and with it, okay? Or maybe as awake as you are. And you feel that his sleeping through life in some areas is something you're dragging around with you on vacations, on the good days, in the most pleasant of circumstances in life. This fact looms like a gray cloud over you. You may be concerned that you two are at two different growth rates in life. He's not growing and you are. He is asleep and you're awake. And this is starting to come to a head. Whenever you had this dream, it was coming to a head. Maybe you guys had an argument about it. Maybe you felt like you needed to discuss it with him. Maybe you already did and you feel like you're not getting any results. He's not moving, you know, whatever it is, it came to a head. And not a little bit, but a lot bit. Hence the flood. When the flood comes, when any type of rain or water shows up in a dream, it's talking about our mental state and our emotional state. And when it comes through heavy and hard like a flood, symbolizing it's not good. There is a whole rush of emotions being triggered here. Okay. This is making me feel mentally unsafe. This issue. Okay. It is a threat in a way. It is also releasing the skeletons in the closet. In this case, dead bodies floating out of a well. So your concern could be that it is now something in the past you were able to overlook, but it is bringing up, resurrecting the dead. And it could be taking a toll on him. I mean, I'm sure it is. Of course it would be, but it could be taking a toll on him in such a way where it's affecting his stability. And I can't prescribe or diagnose, but his mental health. It's drudging up the hidden things, the bodies in the basement, the skeletons in the closet, the stuff we hide deep down and bury in a well. It all came up. And so you're not only watching how this is negatively affecting you or his lack of growth, his inability to be awake, right? Or his choice to not be awake is more accurately put. But you're observing how it's going to affect him or how it was at that time affecting him. It was showing up in his mental and emotional well-being. So in a best case scenario, we would say that this can represent an opportunity for a new beginning. But because it happened this way, it suggests that he has had plenty of opportunities for new beginnings and doesn't take them, but continues to bury the bodies. Okay. So whenever we're talking about a bed, a mattress, someone sleeping, the threat of someone sleeping, it's not a great situation. And it would typically come along with something like dead bodies or water or a massive hurricane or like, you know, some type of tornado or some type of fire or some kind of major change, because often that's what people need is a push, okay, to go in the right direction. But this was definitely a period of time where issues were being revealed. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Tanya. Do we have any more coming in? So, like, you guys, the more engagement this show gets, I will add it to the 2026 show lineup. This is just a test show tonight. I love dream analysis. I'm absolutely obsessed. I'm writing a whole book on it. And what you guys are going to do is drop your $10 donation and the dream that you want interpreted. Also, let me know if the dream happens a lot. Okay, because it does change things if it's happening repeatedly or it's something you've had your whole life. I want to hear about that too. Okay, but we're going to make this unlimited tonight. I can't do that every night, but I can tonight. So as many dreams as you want analyzed, go ahead and drop them. If you prefer to do this privately, it's also up on my website. So go to Ivy Rivera, psychicmedium.com, and click on dream analysis. Okay, Abby is up next. So Abby says, this dream felt like it happened in real time. I was in a shop in Cali. Okay. I was helping a woman with 2 daughters. Both were pregnant. Woman, 2 pregnant daughters. I comforted the girls and told them that they would be okay. I helped the woman with her shop. Okay. Is there more to this? Like, okay, from what? Like, what happened? So she could be with her daughters. It was so random and not connected to anything I currently know. Is that a current life or past? Oh, well, that's a whole separate question. I mean, it's something like this isn't probably going to be a past life dream, and I can normally tell that right away. But I'm just trying to figure out what the heck you were protecting them from, like why the stress, you know what I mean? So let's see what's going on here with the basics of this dream. So being in a store, okay, always signifies the potential for growth, the potential at the time when you had this dream for partnerships, the potential for business expansion, bringing in more resources, unless the shelves were empty. And it sounds like they were not empty, okay, because she was shopping. So that's good. You were having this dream in a period of time when your life was best focused on partnerships and networking, community, okay, expansion in the work that you do. Hello, hello. I love you. Expansion in the work you do through projects and things like that. The idea of the mom having 2 pregnant daughters is really what stands out here the most. And pregnancy is symbolic of the same thing that a grocery store is symbolic of, which is the potential for massive growth, the birth of something new, right? Being pregnant symbolizes a ton of abundance coming in. And the way you inserted yourself to be closer to those daughters, to help to be involved with them in any capacity, shows that you were really trying to kind of like accept, align with those types of benefits, be in the vibe with, get the energy from, because whatever we're in, we are essentially feeding. That's why, we always say things like stay away from toxic people, because it's like gum on the bottom of your shoe. They will negatively affect you. That's 100% accurate. That's just how law of attraction works. So when someone toxic is around, you got to get rid of them, right? But in this case, you're aligning with, you're trying to spend as much time as you possibly can near these 2 pregnant women. And it symbolizes that that's what you were figuring out how to do in your life at that time. So in real life, in waking time, you would have had opportunities around you. It's possible you were overlooking that. It's possible this was your higher mind's way of letting you know you should pay attention, okay, to the progressive opportunities that are around you, but you have to be an active participant and use your free will to go claim them, to get them, to kind of lock it down. The fact that you were also like telling them that they'll be okay and letting the mother know that she can like go off and do her own thing, really also suggests that your role in this progression, these potential levels up, really would best come from a place where you're saying, this is what I offer. This is what I bring. This is the knowledge and skill set I have. I can help your company. I can help this business endeavor, this project that you want to work on, whatever it is. I can bring it to fruition, because You're almost protecting these girls from like losing the pregnancies, so to speak. Okay. So you're being the lifeline. Whether you could pull it off or not is beside the, you know what I mean? That's not really the point. You're presenting yourself as though you are the lifeline. Yeah, for sure. Interesting. Tanya said, thank you, Ivy. You're so welcome, Tanya. Thank you. Hope that helps. Do we have any more? Next one up is Anna. Anna says, I had a dream at the end of 2024. It was very vivid of me with a man I would end up with. We were in his house enjoying a drink on his couch. I still remember every detail. Was this predictive? So the grandmothers used to call them presenting dreams, but they were typically referring to pregnancies, which is kind of weird. The timing on that's gitchy, right? I literally just talked about 2 pregnancies in the last reading. So the grandmothers would call them presenting dreams. And it would happen for a pregnant woman, sometimes before she even got pregnant, but definitely during the pregnancy, usually 3 times. And it would also happen for other people who were close in her circle, like her mother, her sister, her best friends, maybe the father. So other people would also see this baby. A lot of people will have a presenting dream also about a soulmate. I've even had them about karmic partners. I haven't looked heavily into that, whether everyone else gets that, but I have had them about soulmates, babies, and karmic partners. So what can happen with a presenting dream is that you're seeing the person, the baby, in this case, a romantic partner, right? A soulmate. You're seeing them not necessarily in the exact way that they'll look. So you will see them often in the body that is the last life you guys had together, or in the body that you guys had together the last time you had a romantic past life opportunity. You will sometimes see them literally in the form, like I had a karmic dream, and the guy showed up looking identical to the way I saw him. It was like 3.5 years later, but he had the same truck. It was a Dodge Ram. It was a white. He had the same outfit on. It was a plaid shirt. It was ridiculous. And then every physical aspect. Sometimes we get it to a T. So the couch, the drink, the apartment, the house, whatever you're in, sometimes all of this will be 100% accurate for this life. Other times it's more symbolic or it's connected to a past life. But the remaining truth is always in the person's personality, in their energy, in their character, and in the way you guys felt about one another, or in the way like you connected, for example. So if you felt with him, you know, really great, if you felt like you weren't having to keep your back up, your armor on, you didn't feel like you were getting hustled or played, like he wasn't trying to like get you into bed, and you know, maybe you're into that and you don't care, and that would have been fine too. Whatever, as long as you felt fine about it or you felt good about it, that's the most important thing. And what transfers from lifetime to lifetime is not the body, of course, but the vibe, the energy, the character, the integrity, the personality, okay, and the synergy between the two of you, the chemistry, clearly in this case. So I think what you're seeing, you know, is a connection that is coming, and we don't want to dismiss someone who comes in who looks a little bit different from that, but if the vibe matches, that's definitely the one. So fun. It's so amazing. Abby said, thank you, Ivy. That aligns and I feel better. Yes, absolutely. All right. Thank you, Abby. Thank you, Anna. I'm just trying to see when this happened for you. So this was 2024. Yeah. I think it's important to also pay attention to, you know, the details when you're analyzing a dream here too, where you're with someone else, in regards to like the drink itself. You know, the sofa can suggest kind of like the bedroom. Like the bedroom is a place of sexual connection. The bedroom, it's also subconscious and a couple other things, healing, but the couch is sort of like a break off of that. It's like a, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, it's similar. It's similar. It's in alignment with that. And the drink itself can suggest some type of almost like a spell being casted, you know, or something kind of romantic, or trying to just sort of like loosen up and ease into that next step. So you're going to want to look at the symbolism there also, and then make sure you apply it when this person actually comes through, because that could, you know, something like that can even start positive. Does it remain positive after that drink? What happens then? Anna said, thank you, that makes sense. He was blonde and that isn't usually my type. Well, and it's not to say you won't have a blonde, you know what I mean? Sometimes a soulmate like doesn't look at all. I don't either. I have a soulmate who's like blue-eyed blonde hair, and I'm like, what? Like, that is not at all it for me, ever. I'm into black guys, and I'm into, you know what I mean? I don't know where that came from, but it happens. We don't control every aspect of this, you know? You have contracts with whoever you have contracts with. Tanya Rivera said, it did help me. It made sense. Okay, good, Tanya. Thank you. Let's see if we have any more coming in. Susanna says, I keep dreaming about my ex-husband, Dorian. Okay. And his family members almost every single night. Ooh. In that dream, we are back together. And my last dream, I was sick and he was taking care of me. Okay. So in the dream, we are back together. Oh, I see what you mean, romantically, like in a relationship. I see what you mean. Okay, I thought you meant the whole family like being together, but obviously they are also there. So you're together, your ex-husband is there, you're around his family, and this happens to you almost every single night. Wow. Wow. But how does this dream end? With you being sick and him taking care of you. This is the epitome of unfinished business, is what this is. Because you may feel as though his family in some way caused the divorce. You may feel as though he didn't stand up for you enough. If there were toxic family dynamics, like a toxic mother-in-law, for example, or whatever, you may feel as though, if it's not that his family had a negative influence on him. You may feel as though his family maybe took better care of you at different times than even he did. But regardless, there is unfinished business between you, the family, him. The idea of you getting back together with him and then all of his family being there, and we're talking every freaking night, okay? The idea of this happening on repeat is an attempt by you to rewrite the ending. You don't have a sense of closure. You don't have a sense of peace. And the reason you don't is because he did not step up and give back to you in the relationship to the same degree that you gave him love, care, affection. And you may have felt that the only way to get out of this dream cycle is to make yourself sick. Because if you are sick, if you are unwell, if you are down on the ground, he would sometimes show up for you in that worst case scenario. Obviously not enough, okay? Clearly not in general. But if you were sick and he is able to come through and take care of you, it somehow rewrites the ending a little bit. Thank you for the hearts on TikTok. It somehow rewrites the ending so that you can find a little more closure. The reality is also that probably never happened. Okay. And so what you're doing is you're forcing it. That's what you wanted out of him. You probably would have stayed with this person, right? Obviously. I mean, because in the dream, you're together. So you would have stayed with him if he knew how to love you. You would have stayed with him, and you would have, whether you like his family or you don't, you would have even been there with them. You would have taken care of them. You wanted it. But he clearly did not show up for you. And it's a wound. You're not over yet. And you are trying to fix it every single night to get that wound healed for yourself. And the reality is that only you can heal that wound for yourself. So all the areas where he dropped you, abandoned you, didn't show up when you needed him the most, all those areas, you would do well to make a list and then be like, I can heal myself in this area. I can give this love to myself. I will show up come hell or high water for myself in this area. I am reprioritizing myself in this area. This is where I shouldn't have been overstretching and reaching and giving to him when he wasn't giving back to me. This is a boundary line that I now have set. You can look at that list and you could say, I am the healer of my own life. I do not have to rewrite this ending, and you'll never have the dream again. Okay, you may want to do a releasing ceremony with that. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, let's move on to another one. Yeah, Susanna, you may have a pattern of like picking dudes who drop you, be real careful there. Okay, let's move on. Do we have any more? I am going to do last call here. So if you guys are just tuning in now, or if you've been debating on dropping a dream, go ahead and do so at this time. This is last call. Drop your $10 donation. Diana, my beautiful producer, is in the comment section there on TikTok and on Instagram, showing you guys how you can drop your donation and your question. If you're here on YouTube, it's in the description above. Everything is under sort of one umbrella here on YouTube. Also, if everyone could please give this video a thumbs up, drop a comment of any kind. And I would also love to hear where you guys are tuning in from. And if you got a dream analysis tonight and it resonated with you, please let us know how. Little T, let us in your personal private business, okay? And please do share this video and subscribe and all the good things. If you are here on YouTube, please hype this. Thanks so much. Maraid is next. And again, if you guys want to do this privately, go onto my website, ivyrivera.psychicmedium.com, and just click on dream analysis. Maraid says, I haven't been sleeping peacefully or dreaming over the past, few days. Few days. Instead, I keep waking up and thinking about my friend Nate. Why am I not dreaming anymore since we became friends? Well, so it's not true that we don't dream. And I talk about this in the dreams class. It's up on the website, right? I talk about blocked dreaming and how to remove blocked dreaming. But people who are blocked from their dreams are still dreaming. You, in the past few nights, have still been dreaming. The issue with blocked dreaming is that while they're going on, and they can be very intense, even prophetic, okay, even astral travel, even visit dreams, okay, it can be very, very intense. You're not going to remember them. And the reason being stress. So when something, this is what I talk about in block dreaming in the class, I talk about people who haven't remembered their dreams for years, okay? It's usually more like months, but some people even years. It's because they went through a traumatic episode. They went through a stressful time. And because we process our stress at night when we're asleep even better than we do when we're awake, or if you tried to process some of it or you refused to process any of it while you were awake, it's undone. It's not finished yet. So it goes onto your sleep to-do list. So when you're sleeping, your subconscious mind is processing, your brain is working that whole time to get answers, to get solutions, to help you get comfortable with things for healing reasons, for answers, and all types of things, right? So your brain will eventually recognize while you're asleep that stress, dreaming, nightmares have begun, and we don't like that. We're in some uncomfortable territory right now, and so you block it. And whether it's productive or not, and we could say it's probably not super productive, but your brain has blocked it out. You may be a little hypersensitive to stress dreaming and blocked dreaming. So every time you're triggered in such a way where it's bringing up like childhood issues, it's bringing up abandonment wounds, it's bringing up significant, trauma in any way, you're going to automatically shut down and have reoccurring block dreaming. Okay, so he triggered you. Or you could say you triggered you because you have some unfinished business here in this area. And this is something you could have the rest of your life until you really fully address it and clear it out. Meaning every time you meet someone new, every time someone potentially significant enters your life, every time you feel threatened, you're blocking your dreaming. And it's not that he did anything wrong or that anything's wrong here. It's you. Okay, it's you. It's all this subconscious stuff that needs to be dealt with. So you want to look at the way he makes you feel. You want to look at the nature of the relationship so far. You said it's new. So, you want to look at that and you want to say, what about this connection? What about my triggers? What about my pattern with people like him or situations like this or relationships like this makes me spiral and go into a place of shutdown? Okay, that's it. And that's something, that's where we get into like therapy and shadow work and looking at the deep, dark stuff in the basement. And you may literally, once you start remembering your dreams, you may literally have dreams about the basement. Okay, because the basement is where, kind of like, was it Tanya's reading where we talked about the well and things being buried down in the well? Those are all similar symbols. They all mean the same thing, basically. Okay, so what are you shoving down? What is in the basement? And that is also your foundational years. Talk about the basement because a house represents you, right? And so the foundation of the house or the basement would be your younger years. And then it goes up, 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 up to the top, which is the attic, which is your mental state currently, da, 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 da. Okay? On a side note. So anyways, I don't want to go off the rails on this. But anyways, you need to process what about the nature of the relationship with him is triggering you, in what way, what can you do about it while you're awake, okay, through shadow work, healing, therapy, what have you, to deal with those younger year issues, those triggers. And you should start dreaming again immediately. I mean, again, you are dreaming. You're not remembering it. So let's put it this way. You should be able to remove the block just by doing that, because that is the solution. That's a general message for everyone. Again, I talk about it in the dreams class. How do you unblock? You deal with the core issue that triggered you into the block dreaming. Okay, is self. Yeah? Interesting. All right, let's move on to another one. We have any more? Somebody paid for 2 questions, but only asked like 1, or I'm gonna let Diana do her thing. I don't know. Also, while Diana figures out like who's next, I just want to remind you guys too, I have a really busy week. I haven't even ran ads for most of the shows. So we are going to be back on Wednesday. Actually, tomorrow is the members only YouTube Ask Ivy exclusive show. So if you guys want to go onto my YouTube at Ask Ivy the Medium and hit the join button. The top 2 tier members get their Ask Ivy exclusive show tomorrow. We do one every month. And then Wednesday, I'll be back for the Unbound Sage. Yep. And then Thursday, so the very next day, I'm back for the yes or no question show. So you can start getting the Unbound Sage. I deliver out to you whatever is the most important message for you to hear at this time. And the yes or no question show is as it sounds. You can ask as many questions as you want about anything, and I'll tell you, yes or no, and give you a brief, explanation as to why. All right, next up is Deborah. Deborah Rose said, I woke up dreaming my mom was at a cemetery mourning on someone's grave, and I drove up in my car and said, get in, let's go. Okay. Is that the whole thing? Okay. So, a lot of people have this with their mothers. A lot of people, okay, thank you, Diana. A lot of people have this with their mothers or their parents. Diana, you could take that down. Thank you. And it's a desire to rescue. You could call it parentification. Maybe it wasn't that bad. Okay. Maybe you're just highly empathic and you and your mother have a connection like that, but this suggests that you feel deeply that you are responsible for protecting your mother, for healing your mother, right? I heard salvation, your mother's salvation. You may have seen your mom as a person who is struggling to alchemize, to transmute, to get out of a cycle of grief. You may see her as someone who needs rescue, and that she has parts of her life where she's stuck in the past and mourning over things that are dead, done, and over with, right? So she, in being stuck in the past, can't give to you as the child in the way that she could if she were able to heal and be more present. So in order to get yourself what you need in life, her attention, her affection, for you to feel better, you need to get her out of that rut, snap her out of that stuck past energy, get her off the graves. And you tried to do it in your sleep, in your dream, because you either felt unsuccessful in life in doing it, or, you're worried that's a state she may be in, and, you feel like she's not going to be willing. And so this is I like to say that we work out so much karma, so many tasks, so many contracts with other people, right? So we bring so much healing. We do so much of that in other dimensions, often in the sleep state, often, because humans can be very rigid and slow in their growth and development, or stuck, or whatever, right? And so when we're in these other dimensions, AKA the sleep state in this case, we can bring actual healing and progress to those issues. Your dream here is not unlike the one I gave to someone else, where I said, you're trying to rewrite the ending is what you're doing. Okay. You're trying to fix it. You're trying to rewrite the ending. But ultimately, when your mother is not available for you in the ways that you need her to be, you have to find a way, like even as a child, I mean, that's what children do. That's where parentification comes from. We have to find a way to heal the parent, to get them present with us so that we can get what we desperately need. And because there is such a small window of time where that is influential, that is effective, right? That's why you show up in the car, rushing up with this car, which suggests control, power, speed, right? Mobility. Let's get us the hell out of here. It's not just let's get you out of here, Mom. Let's face it, it's you. It's let's get you out of here so you could be here for me. Okay. And of course, you love your mother and you want to help her get out of that rut. Of course, sure. That's there too. But that's only part of it. So it's get in the car so we can get out of here. We have a limited amount of time, right? As the thunder hits. I don't know if you guys can hear that. That's spooky. That's some spooky shit. I'm freaked out. And yeah, it's funny because I'm hearing this thunder. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it's like because the rain's coming, the storm is coming, right? There's always a negative result when someone is stuck in the past. Always. It affects everyone around them, you know, and yeah, you were trying to pull her out of it. It's probably a theme you had throughout your life, you know, in dealing with her, but it's not for you to do. And it would be best for you to do the same thing I told the other person, which is make a list of ways you feel that when she is like that, you're stressed about it, or the ways she won't let you help, or the ways she refuses to grow or get out of the past, or how deep she may be in her grief. And we just have to grieve even that grief, or, you know, how she, how you needed her to show up for you and she didn't, or couldn't, or wouldn't, whatever. And how you are the one who is here actually to heal yourself and give to yourself and support yourself and keep your own self out of the past. Because having this type of dream repeatedly suggests now you're getting stuck at the grave. Fascinating. All right, let's move on to another one. Deborah said, yes. And then Christine Watts said, okay, so this is one. Christine is next. All right. Christine said, my previous dog died way before my mom, like 7 years ago, but I keep dreaming of him and he's with me, but then I lose him. Is there more to that? I don't know what the mom has anything to do with it. Like, is that just like, that doesn't really make any sense. My previous dog. Okay, so basically your mother has nothing to do with this. You're just saying like my dog died and I dream about my dog. But then I lose him. Yeah. Okay. So let's just go with the dog thing. I'm going to eliminate the mom thing because it doesn't, I don't have any context here. Like, I don't even know why that's part of this, but so your dog, so you dream of your dog and then you dream that you lose your dog. You know, dogs are symbolic of some other things, like simplicity, like inner peace, like stability, okay, like joy and having an attitude of gratitude. And the big one, loyalty. All right. So your dog coming back to you can be a desire, of course, just to reconnect with your pet. And some of those dreams may very well be that, you know, you are reconnecting with him. It could be those visit dreams happen, but know that when it's a real visit dream with a pet in particular, they are very, very brief encounters. With a pet, when we see them and it's a real visit dream, they are usually at a distance, like they're on the other side of a door, or there's a door to a garden, but the door is glass, so you could see the pet through it. Or they're quite a few feet away, but you are in the same vicinity, like the same room. Often, though, these things happen where the animal is outside of a room or outside of the house and you're in. If you guys are both outside, it can be that you can't touch them. You can't really get near them. They're off sort of frolicking and doing their own thing, or they're often passing through. They will often look at you, they'll pause, you'll make eye contact, maybe you'll even say something to them, or you'll get a flutter in your heart, but they keep going. It is very rare to be able to actually sit with the pet or pet the pet. Okay? It's very rare. And that, because that's usually subconscious. Like, it's not a real vivid dream. You're concocting this. You're creating this. You have a desire to be that close. It would never be like me and Ezzy sitting here and like this is happening. That's not going to happen in a real vivid dream, okay? Or very rarely. So it suggests here, and these lights are flickering, and I don't know why. That's insane. You know, it suggests that you are subconsciously creating the majority of these dreams with your dog. And then he disappears in the end, making you feel that loss again. It can suggest that since that pet passed, you haven't had another connection like that. Okay. But I also think that the dog in this case is symbolic of you feeling that since you started having these dreams about the dog repeatedly, you are feeling that you have lost your ability to feel simple pleasures, simple joys, a sense of stability or being centered within yourself, inner peace, an ability to have naturally an attitude of gratitude, that you have to work hard at having an attitude of gratitude. And I always think of a dog with the sun shining on its face as like better than any religion by far. Them being able to really receive the love from the universe, from the stars, from the moon, from the sun, from someone petting them, from a bowl of food, right? From the wind, from anything simple. You may feel every time you have this dream that you're cut off from that. Something has changed in you and you can't reconnect to that. You may also feel as though you need more loyalty in your life. So you are looking at contracts and people and relationships where you have felt as though you're the giver and you're not getting back. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. So let's move on to another one. Who else? What else? Who else? What else do we have coming in here? Right, Mama? She looks like a little black bear. Okay. What's next, Diana? What's next? What's next? Testimonials, comments, feedback, more dream analysis, whatever you want to pop up. Keep rolling. Christine is saying, sorry, I know it sounds something, whatever. I'll read that later. Susanna Cruz said, sounds good. You are totally right about it. I will do better self-care. Thank you. I have clarity. You're welcome, Susanna. Interesting. All right. What else do we have going on, Diana? And Christina said, sorry, it sounds weird trying to make two questions. I'm running it up, apologizing. Okay. So I think we're just waiting on, Christina. And you guys, this is last call. So if you wanted to get your dream analysis in, now is the time. And okay, that's fine. So yeah, Christina, get your question in and we are going to move on and wrap up the show. So I don't want to hold the whole thing. I don't want to hold up the entire show just for like, you know, one question here. I do want to give out a quick reminder too about my symbology book. I know that I sound like a crazy person talking about I'm wrapping it up and I'm you know, I'm ready to publish almost, and like here it comes and here it comes, and then a year passes and it's just like not happening. But I'm not giving any more dates on when I hope to get it out, because all it does is make me look crazy. But you know, writing a book is it's a huge investment. I'll just leave it at that. And you know, I have a lot of other stuff going on. So I am working on the symbology book. If you are into what I'm doing here tonight, you can get on the early bird waitlist for my symbology book by going on to, you can just email me actually at Rev, like Reverend, R-E-V, and then my name. So it's just IVY, okay, and then Rivera at Yahoo, and put in the title, add me. And I know what that means. Okay, so we'll get you added to the early bird waitlist for the symbology book. Symbology book includes the 4 hours of symbology training I do for my psychic mediumship students, and a ton of other dream analysis, archetypes, psychology behind, you know, a lot of Carl Jung stuff and colors, animal totems, numerology. It's really going to be everything. From what I can see on the market, I mean, I haven't looked in a while, but there is not a lot out there, and a lot of it's inaccurate. We ready to move on? Oh, this was your second question. Okay, so that's the question. So that's for Christina. I see. Okay, so Christina had it's a similar dream about her mom. Okay, so yeah. So basically, you know, when you're having a dream that someone is there and then they are disappearing, it is the same issue, okay, coming up repeatedly for you, where you are missing this person, you are fearing the abandonment that comes along, the grief that comes along with that loss. You're wanting them to stay longer, and you are probably not having actual visit dreams where she's actually coming to see you in those dreams. It's subconscious. You're concocting it. You're creating it. A lot of people do this when they're still grieving the loss of someone. Okay, significantly. You have dreams where they're there. And it can be confusing because you're like, was she actually there or no? No. You know it is a visit dream from your mom, from a human being, when the encounter is brief. It's possible you will have physical contact, but usually not that much. It's very rare to have something like a full hug. It can happen that they're right next to you, though, or that they're sitting right near you, or that you're like often in the same room, just maybe on a different piece of furniture, or that you are standing near each other working on something. There are usually a lot of other people around, not necessarily interfering, but like, I don't know why that always happens. There's a lot of other people around. It's kind of like a reunion, right? So there are a lot of other spirits around. There's a lot of other activity around. And when they talk to you, their mouth never moves. It's all telepathic. You don't realize it, but your mouth isn't moving either. So whatever you're talking about, whatever they're sharing with you or showing you, right? There's no movement. It's just mind to mind energy. That's how you know it was a real visit dream. Okay. And it will bring you peace. It could bring you answers or solutions. Okay. Even, or just love and support, you know, but it brings you peace. It doesn't upset you. It doesn't leave you distraught. You know, she doesn't leave you in the end. No. That wasn't a visit dream. That was you subconsciously creating a situation where you could connect, and then you're still processing your grief when she leaves at the end, right? It's kind of brutal the way our brain works. It really is. We have to know this stuff and be mindful of it so we can control it better. You should invite her in for more actual visit dreams. That can actually bring a lot of healing, okay, to the grief process. But if you're holding on too tight, spirit will typically pull back because they don't want to come through and upset you, right? They don't want to remind you. They want you to continue on with your life. So we can see a pullback. So there may need to be some block removal there. Okay. You're welcome, Christina, or Christine Watts, that is. Thank you. And we are at time. Okay, we are at time, so we're going to wrap this up. Thank you so much, you guys. I had a ton of fun, and I will process this and analyze whether or not it got high enough engagement to add to the 2026 show lineup. I would say based on this, absolutely. But if you guys are watching this later, once it's published, please give it more love. And if you guys got a dream analysis tonight, Diana will be time stamping these and then that'll go up in the comment section, but that is exclusively on YouTube at Ask Ivy the Medium, and it usually takes about 24 hours for the video to publish. So you can go back and check it out there. Again, if you want to book a dream analysis, any other type of reading, a party, or a psychic fair with me, I do work internationally. Go to Ivy Rivera psychicmedium.com, and I will see you guys, well, tomorrow for the Ask Ivy YouTube member exclusive show, but I will be back Wednesday for the Unbound Sage, where I deliver out to you whatever is the most important message for you to hear at this time. Start getting your spots saved now. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great night. Thank you, Diana. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Ezzy.